first of those films being Toy Story 4. Drew.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to begin by reading to you the first paragraph of an article published in The Atlantic entitled How Pixar Lost Its Way. A well-regarded Hollywood insider recently suggested that sequels can represent a sort of creative bankruptcy. He was discussing Pixar, the legendary animation studio, and its avowed distaste for cheap spin-offs. More pointedly, he argued that if Pixar were only to make sequels, it would wither and die. Now, all kinds of industry experts say all kinds of things, but it is surely relevant that these observations were made by Ed Catmull, the president of Pixar, in his best-selling 2014 business leadership book. Now, that's the first paragraph of the article, which was published in 2017, shortly before the release of Cars 3, a sequel, and the year after the release of Finding Dory, a sequel. The next year saw the release of Incredibles 2, a sequel, and now we have Toy Story 4, a sequel. It was the fear of many when Disney bought Pixar, including myself, that Disney's own lack of regard for its creative output would sully the reputation of Pixar. But many were soothed, I guess would be the word, by the widely reported avowed distaste for sequels within Pixar, and then CEO John Lasseter's statement that if we have a great story we'll do a sequel, which certainly presaged sequels, but suggested that at least they would be done with care. 7 of Pixar's 21 feature films to date, fully 1/3, have been sequels. Creative bankruptcy may be an extreme term, but it's certainly not great, especially given how poor some of those sequels are. However, and despite much pessimism, Pixar's Toy Story films have been excellent. But the biggest issue I have with Toy Story 4 is that it exists at all, as Toy Story 3 had done such a fine and touching job of wrapping up its character stories and sending them off into a happy future. It was a truly satisfying ending, a passing of the torch. But they just could not resist going back to that well. And, well, the trailers for Toy Story 4 started appearing, and words like lacklustre and underwhelming found themselves floating through my mind, accompanying the persistent thought of, just leave it be, it was done. Well, I should probably start actually talking about Toy Story 4 though. The toys are now firmly established as Bonnie's rather than Andy's, though their day-to-day life is much as we've become familiar with over the years. However, Woody, Tom Hanks, is finding it difficult to adapt to not being the favourite plaything. Seeing an opportunity for an important role, Woody hides himself inside of Bonnie's backpack as she attends her first day at kindergarten, and provides her with the materials with which she makes Forky, Veep's Tony Hale, her new toy, which helps her through the experience. Bonnie's parents then decide to take a road trip in an RV for a week before kindergarten starts in earnest, and the toys go along for the ride, with a stressed Woody assuming all responsibility for protecting the confused, trash-loving Forky from himself. Things naturally go awry, and Woody finds himself apart from the other toys in an antique shop, trying to save Forky. Along the way, he encounters new toys, like the totally not Evel Knievel honest Duke Kaboom, voiced by Keanu Reeves, and the super creepy doll Gabby Gabby, voiced by Christina Hendricks, and her super disturbing hench dummies. One thing that can definitely be said in Toy Story 4's favour, it looks phenomenal. Pixar have always demonstrated supreme technical skill, and since starting the 3D animated feature genre, they have remained the technical standard bearers. Another podcaster I listened to, a huge but hypercritical Pixar fan, tweeted after seeing this that the parade of middle-of-the-road CG animated film trailers in front of Toy Story 4 only served to emphasise the comically large gap in visual quality between Pixar and its rivals. A lot of it is art direction and shot design, but it's also just plain technical brilliance. And frankly, I couldn't agree more. Everything advertised before this looked like hot garbage, whereas Toy Story 4 is beautiful. Pixar's particular gift with lighting being, again, at the forefront. Technical brilliance means little, of course, if the story isn't any good. So we should probably address the elephant in the room, even if that will probably fall foul of postal regulations and be returned. I'm not even sorry. The screenplay from Pixar stalwart Andrew Stanton and relative newcomer Stephanie Folsom is warm and sharp and, if not hugely original, consistently funny and entertaining. And likewise the direction from Josh Cooley, here stepping up from shorts to feature directing. It's polished, high-quality entertainment, but falls short of the other Toy Story films because it's just not special. Very good, yes, but not special. Do I begrudge its existence? Yes I do. But do I regret watching it? Absolutely not. Again, it just shouldn't be.
Much like Fork itself, because this thing wants to throw itself in the trash. I agree pretty much 100%. I had very low expectations going into it for the reasons you've laid out, and I watched it and I enjoyed it, and I've barely thought about it since, which is a little unfortunate given that Toy Story 3 in particular was such a resounding kick in the emotionals.
Yes.
It provoked all of the feels, whereas Toy Story 4 provoked maybe a quarter of a feel at one point. And as I say, enjoyed it. There's probably a number of individual scenes that are as good as anything that's in any other Toy Story film. But stitched together, it's just sort of fine. It's a good film, and I enjoyed watching it, and I will probably not think of it again as long as I'm around. It just doesn't seem to have a lot of ambition other than to put these characters out there again.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's not trying to do anything new or different. It's more of the same, and it's very good same. Yeah, but it's same.
I mean, I'd rather they do more of these films and keep up this level of quality rather than something like Cars, which wasn't that good in the first place, but sold so many toys that, well, creative bankruptcy aside, they certainly weren't going in the sort of physical sense of bankruptcy with the amount of merchandise they were selling, so I understand the rationale for making more of those films, even if there's not actually any real artistic merit to them.
Yeah, it's something crazy like, say, $2 billion a year or something that Disney were raking in, at least with the Cars merchandising.
Yeah, ludicrous, isn't it? Yeah, so I'd rather have more of these films. If they can keep up this sort of level of doing good films that I don't really have any huge complaints about, that's fine. But for a franchise that I'd kind of expected more from, I guess it's a little disappointing. Yeah, no... But even, as we say, even for that, it's still quite funny. It was still quite entertaining, and I enjoyed my time watching it. So, c'est la vie.
Yeah, where it succeeds, whereas a lot of other Pixar sequels haven't, is like Monsters University is it just trying to force its characters into that irritating university fraternal society nonsense. Mm-hmm. It doesn't fit, and it's got subtle emotional connection with the original film.
Yeah.
Finding Dory was fine, but it was just Finding Nemo again. Yeah. And yeah, the Cars films, let's just not talk about them, they're appalling. But yeah, Toy Story, at least there's some heart in it. There's well-established characters that they still find a couple of novel things to do with, even if for a lot of the time they're just sort of relying on your familiarity with the characters and their personalities for jokes without doing anything particularly new for the most part. But yeah, it's a solid quality film. I enjoyed it. I want them to do something special or different, because in between all of those seemingly interminable sequels they were doing, they're just like Inside Out. I had problems with it, but that was quite an interesting idea. They were trying themselves, and then they had the amazing Coco. Mm-hmm. And then straight back to another underwhelming sequel.
I think my main complaint with this is it was played very safe. Given how it ended, I thought they would perhaps spend more time introducing some new characters or building up something else that you could then do in a sort of Toy Story, maybe hand over the torch to some new set of toys or something, because it's a new kid that's playing with them. It should be different. It shouldn't be the same one, but they kind of punted on that. And yeah, I don't know if they're... Presumably they will return to this either through another film or no doubt some kind of streaming spin-off for these Disney services that are no doubt need to be a lot of time they need to fill. So we'll probably see us again. In what form, I guess we'll need to find out. I was wondering whether it was trying to set up a sort of Woody spin-off series as his adventures out by himself or something like that, and maybe that could have more impact. Maybe that could be interesting if you can influence to get Tom Hanks on board. I don't know, but this just seemed like a safe way to do it.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure that. I had sort of two thoughts there. One was that they would do something like that, which I can see happening. It almost feels like it would be the Toy Story version of Little Sobo.
Yeah.
It'll be something like that. Or that there's like, well, Tom Hanks is done with this now. He's been doing it for more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it does feel like there will be more, because the ending of this felt sequel friendly, whereas the ending of Toy Story 3
definitely
absolutely did not,
yeah.
and they still made one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to try to replicate their success with anything, Toy Story is the one where they've been consistently good.
Yeah.
But still, I want to do something different, something better, something original.
Yes.
And the next 2 films that are slated are pure new films, which is good. But to only been making films for 20 years and then have an entire third of your films that you've made be sequels, that's slightly concerning.
Yes, it's a bit Ubisofty. Again, just to reiterate, because again we're sounding a bit negative about it, it's good. I enjoyed it. I recommend people watch it. But I just wish it was a little more ambitious. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's a very, very enjoyable film, and it doesn't tarnish Toy Story's reputation or anything like that. It's just that Toy Story 3, I mean, I know there have been a couple of shorts since then, because they've had these shorts of now, like Hawaiian Vacation and Small Fry and stuff. I think those are post Toy Story 3. But like coming back to for wee snippets like that, that's okay. I'm okay with that, actually. But Toy Story 3's ending was just so nice. It was touching, and it was so final for the characters, like kind of hopeful, and it was like, right, toys have a life, they carry on with other children.
Yeah.
But in terms of like that universe and those characters, Vicky, right, this is a nice ending, it's finished. No, they just had to pick at it, didn't they? So it's the biggest problem, is the absolute sense of frustration. Could you just leave stuff alone?
My only problem with you, sir, is that you exist.
Yeah, and I'm aware of the potential hypocrisy of, like, well, I paid to, use my Cineworld Unlimited card, but still, they get money from Cineworld for that, so I paid to go to see this, so that kind of perpetuates it. And I'm aware of that potential conflict there. That's like, well, I don't want this to exist, but if people keep going to see it, they will. I mean, but I just do something different, because Pixar definitely have had failures. The Good Dinosaur is just, which I think I almost forget exists most of the time. I suspect most people do as well. It's like, Good Dinosaur, it was a Pixar film, wasn't it? Yeah. It's rotten. Well, no, rotten's strong. The Cars films are rotten. Good Dinosaur's just massively generic and underwhelming and barely memorable. So, I mean, they have sort of stretched themselves to try something different, and it's not always worked. But then they do something different too, like Coco, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So they clearly still have like the talent and the passion and stuff. It's the creative direction that concerns me a wee bit.
Yeah.
2 brand new films coming out in the future. It's maybe less. I mean, you've mentioned exactly what the problem is, Scott. It's less the feature film direction that worries me at the moment, in terms of like quality and reputation and stuff. It's like, what Disney are going to do with this for their streaming services. Yeah, I am concerned about that, because it's not like Disney haven't just like had lots of terrible generic Saturday morning series and stuff for years based on their popular cartoons or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, if the MCU is winding down to a degree, I guess, then they're going to be missing all of the money. So
yeah.
Yes, I mean, apparently, just sort of a nice amount of money regularly isn't enough. And they're like, we're back to Ubisoft, aren't we? They basically want all of the money.
Yes. At least so far, we've not had microtransactions. So give it a while.
Disney as a service. That's basically what these subscription things are going to be. Oh, God. They are becoming AAA game developers. Yeah. Okay. I think before we just get too negative and whiny about Disney, we move on, Scott? I think have we finished with
yes.
our discussion of Toy Story?